Have you ever heard of Gellan Gum F LT100 and wondered what exactly are they and how do I use them?
Well, today on WTF, we're going to show you 3 great demos on how to use Gellan Gum F and Gellan Gum LT100. Hello and welcome to WTF, where we transform food here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen. I'm Chef Scott Gellan.
And I'm Janie Wang, the owner of Modernist Pantry. Today, Scott and I are going to be covering Gellan Gum, which has been a hugely popular ingredient, and there's 2 different types, F and LT100. And as you can see, we have quite a few demos set up here for you today in order to explain what exactly it is, how do you best use it, and hopefully some tips and tricks to get you started on using Gellan in your kitchen if you haven't already. So Scott, as we get started, why don't we just start with the basics? What's F, what's LT100, what is Gellan?
So Gellan Gum it's actually a cool story because they found it in a specific pond in Pennsylvania on a lily pad, and they were able to take it and derive these 2 different gelling agents out of it. LT100 will give you a soft, opaque gel that is elastic, so it will be able to spread, and we can actually see when we show off our fluid gel here. It works great with things like dairy because it has that kind of creamy texture. Mm-hmm. The Gellan Gum F has a brittle texture, so it'll like shred as you pull on it, and it has a really clear color. So when we show off our dessert sushi, we can see the gel on the outside. You know, it's nice and clear, and it has a really beautiful sheen to it.
Yeah, and because we do talk a lot about different types of hydrocolloids on the show, and someone might be wondering, well, what's the difference between this and like an agar? You know, what do you think kind of distinguishes a Gellan Gum versus some of the other products we might have already covered?
A really great thing about Gellan Gum first is its flavor release, and we actually have an Ask a Chef that's coming out about flavor release, and what that is just when you eat it, how much of the flavor you actually get from it. Gellan Gum F and LT100 have great flavor release, so you're going to get the most out of them. Also, you use them in such small quantities that you know, with an agar or something like that, you're going to have to use a lot more to gain the same gelling properties, whereas Gellan Gum F or LT100, you use such a small amount that you can do a lot more with it.
Okay, and are they heat activated or can you use them cold?
So the LT100, you can use cold just as a slight thickener, but when you heat it, it will gel. So you need to heat it above 158 to around 180 is where they're going to gel. The same with Gellan Gum F. You have to heat it at around 180. If you just bring your pot of liquid up to a simmer or a boil, it's going to be perfectly fine. So that's a good rule of thumb. Like if you don't have a thermometer, you don't want to sit there with a thermometer. If it comes up to a simmer, they're going to be activated. Yeah,
that's really great. And if you do want more information specifically about this, I think we also did an Ask a Chef about Gellan, haven't we?
Yes, we did do an Ask a Chef about Gellan, and there's a lot of information on there. There's a little chart just showing you the difference between the 2 and what properties you get, because that's really the thing, is some people will say, well, which one am I going to get? They have completely different properties, so that's really what you want to look for.
Yeah, cool. So definitely that will be linked on the blog under this episode, so you can get that anywhere. Yeah. So let's get right to always the fun part, the demos. Sure. Where should we start? There's so many options here.
So we're going to start with the dessert sushi since it's kind of done. And we just want to do something fun with it. So we made like a matcha sheet that acts as the the nori. We made a rice pudding, and then we compressed some fruits and we put them in the center to mimic the fish or the avocado, mango, whatever you put inside your sushi. So we did that, and it's a semi-freddo, so it's slightly frozen, so it's a partially frozen dessert. And then our wasabi here is a matcha wasabi, so it looks, I'm sorry, not a matcha wasabi, a matcha ganache in the place of matcha, or in the place of wasabi. Okay. So there's no wasabi in it, it just looks like it, and it adds a really nice flavor. And then we have pineapple that we thinly sliced and we just pickled them with a little bit of beet to get that really kind of beautiful color, and they go really well with the dessert sushi.
That looks really good. And where is the Gellan in the dessert sushi?
In the dessert sushi, it's in the wrapper that is the looks like the nori. So that's the matcha sheet that we made with Gellan Gum F.
Yeah, and I did get to test this off camera, and it is just super good. It's very, very light. It's not like overly sweet or anything, and it's very unexpected. So it's a really fun, tasty treat.
Yeah, it's a cool way to do something. You could do anything and just wrap it in like a sheet of Gellan Gum F that's flavored to your liking.
Great. Cool. Yeah.
Then our next one's cool because we wanted to do a little bit of protein here on the show because we don't necessarily get to all that often. And we wanted to make a Tzadziki sauce. But a big problem with Tzadziki sauce is when you add in the cucumber to the yogurt, first off, yogurt loves to weep out its liquid already.
Yep.
And when you add cucumber, you're just adding more liquid. So I use the LT100 in this because it goes really great with dairy. And this will help keep in that liquid. And this is actually 50% the juice of cucumber, dill, and mint, and then it's 50% yogurt. So you can see it looks like it's just yogurt, but it's actually 50%. So you get a lot of flavor from the cucumber, a lot of flavor from the dill and the mint. So you don't have to dial back on it. You get a big punch of flavor from it without having to add a ton of dill, mint in the end.
Okay, so essentially we made a fluid gel out of it,
yeah,
right?
Exactly,
okay.
yeah.
Right.
Yep,
Nice.
so we made a nice, beautiful fluid gel, and then we have homemade pita bread that we made here.
Words, God, words.
Yeah, I know, right? So the pita bread, we have our beautiful lamb rack here that we cooked to around 136 degrees, just in like an immersion circulator. Then we, right in the oven, there's a little bit of garlic, a little bit of thyme on there, and some oil and salt and pepper.
Okay, so we're
simply,
going to cut it
I'm
up
just going
and
to
plate
cut
it
it in half, yeah.
Nice.
So make sure we get around that bone here. So I'm just going to put half of this on the plate. So beautiful. This here. I'm going to do half the pita bread because we got to see that beautiful inside, especially when you make it. It's nice and gorgeous, the nice pocket on the inside, and we'll put it right there. Then we'll place our fluid gel right in the center of the plate and just allow it to make a beautiful circle. And it's as simple as that. You don't need anything else. You need a beautifully cooked piece of lamb, the Tzadziki sauce, and a nice piece of pita, and they're all warm and really beautiful, and then you can have a gorgeous dish.
Yeah, and kind of speaking of fluid gels, I know a lot of times people like to use agar for fluid gels. Can we maybe just very quickly cover the difference between like a Gellan fluid gel and an agar fluid gel? Yeah,
so they're the same in the sense that if you take agar and you make a gel out of it, then you put it into a blender and you whip it back into a fluid, they're going to have similar properties. You can do it with Gellan Gum F, and you can also do it with Gellan Gum LT100. The reason why I did this with the Tzadziki sauce is the creamy aspect. I want that creaminess.
Okay.
If I wanted something a little bit more clear, I could do it with the Gellan Gum F, and I don't necessarily use agar too much for it because the flavor release isn't as good as using one of these.
Okay.
The LT100 and the F of the Gellan Gums are great for flavor release, and I really want all that flavor to come from the food.
Yeah, and if you want to learn all about flavor release, go to the Ask a Chef article because it's really interesting because I feel like it's a term that gets tossed around a lot, but what does it really mean? And Scott did a fantastic job explaining that in the Ask a Chef. So highly recommend. It's a quick read, but you just get a lot from it. And plus I think we have like a list of like 7 or 8 different hydrocolloids in there that we just rank them in terms of flavor release. So yeah, it's a quick, easy read and you get a lot out of it. So
yeah. And then we have our last little demo here. Great. So I took the Gellan Gum F and I added it to a drink recipe. Okay. So there's gin, champagne, and lemon juice, and this is a French 75. So this is usually a carbonated drink because of the champagne in it. But I wanted to do a fluid gel, a drinkable fluid gel that I could suspend, a little bit of flavor pearls, or I can put a cherry in the bottom. And the reason I wanted to do this is the bubbles move so slowly through it. It looks beautiful. It has a really great mouthfeel. So I did a very small amount of the Gellan Gum F. I cooked it right in here, and as you can see, so it's pressurized. So when I took it out of the liquid, I let it set for about 8 hours just to completely cool down and make sure that the hydrocolloid is completely gelled. You can hear it's liquid because I gave it a good shake, and I put such a small amount that it didn't make like a solid gel. That's a big part of this. If you put too much, you're going to make a solid gel. And you don't want to be drinking, giant shards of gel. Yeah. So if I do this, I'm going to release the pressure.
If you had a giant shard, and you could be like, ooh, now it's a cocktail.
Yes. Yeah, different types of edible cocktails you could absolutely do with this. But I want it to be carbonated. It's very hard to do a gel that's carbonated. So I let off the initial pressure, and then I just put in a CO2 cartridge to really kind of make the bubbles. So I'm just going to release all the extra pressure that's in here.
Yeah, and just know that this is a CO2 cartridge and not an N.
Yeah, so that's actually a good little topic to discuss. So if I was to use N2O, the gas from the N2O is very different than the gas from CO2. So it creates like a creaminess. If you've ever had a Guinness, that makes like a creamy gas, and you know that creamy foam that's on top, so a really dense bubble structure. But the CO2 has a really larger bubbles, but also creates carbonic acid, which can help with the acidity of the cocktail itself. So that's why I like the CO2 in this.
Makes sense.
So a little bit of the liquid came out, so I just stopped and then started again, because you don't want to be not doing it with a towel and to just spray your roof with whatever your drink is. So we have two different cocktails, or two different cocktail glasses here. I'm going to show you two different ways to present it. We have these beautiful Fabbri cherries that we sell.
They're Amarenas, and they are very unique to the Fabbri company, so they are delicious.
So I put one cherry in, and then I just put a little bit of the syrup that's from the bottom in there, and just let it sit, so when I pour in the cocktail, it kind of mix it up a little bit. So here. And you'll see those bubbles will get suspended within the gel itself, and they'll move really slowly through it.
That is what is happening.
Yep. And then, so I'm going to pour the rest in here. Just do it slow. Do a nice Collins glass. Yeah, and they'll move nice and slow throughout, and then a little bit of black currant spheres. Yeah. If you do it, they'll suspend a little bit in there, and they'll start to come up with the bubbles themselves.
Ooh.
Yep.
So that looks really fun, and I don't know whether the camera can pick up on the bubbles coming up slowly, but it's really cool, right? Because usually you get it, and suddenly
there's some that just stay right where they are. Yep.
Usually they're gone, but now you can just
Yep.
get hypnotized watching the bubbles rise for,
and
for
I know
a
that
couple hours.
we filmed another little video, and we got a really close up of
Okay.
it, and they're just standing, still inside the liquid, which looks really great.
Yeah, and so a quick plug: if you don't follow us on Instagram already, follow us on @Modernist Pantry, because we are putting up a lot of content on there, not just pictures, but we're also starting to do videos. So this video that Scott's referencing is going to be up there. So it's just another cool way to get inspired, hopefully. So, is there anything else we want to cover today?
No, I think that's pretty much it.
Okay, so just to recap, we have all these recipes, as always. They're on the blog. You can get the Ask a Chef on how to use Gellan, what the differences are. I think there's also other ones. I think, did we do a whipper WTF
Yeah, we did.
already?
We did do a whipping Syphon WTF.
Yeah, so check that out and check out all the different ones. Can we drink this?
Go right ahead. I'll take this one.
All right.
Cheers.
Keeping it classy. Cheers. So from here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen, now I have the words. From the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen, I'm Janie Wang.
And I'm Scott Garrett.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, that's good.
We hope you enjoyed today's episode. And if you want these great recipes and these awesome ingredients, first you're going to have to like, comment, and subscribe. And then you're going to go to blog.modernistpantry.com, where you can find those awesome recipes, and you can ask a chef. And to get these great ingredients, go to modernistpantry.com. And until next time, we'll be here in the Modernist Pantry Test Kitchen, helping you transform food.